Welcome back to the 6 Foot Tall podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Why is he jumping?
This is what I used to do. It's good to be back. We can finally talk to you again because.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. This was an all EV podcast or EV owners podcast. I don't think. Can we allow him in here, Drew?
No. Not unless you've bought in some kind of EV recently.
Define recently, Drew.
Wait. What do you mean?
In the past year?
Ooh, in the past year, I definitely have purchased an EV in the past year.
Oh.
Wait a second.
What? Oh my gosh. You had that queued up.
This is an AI generated image.
Knew.
For those listening, there's
This
a
is
red
gorgeous.
Model 3 on the screen that Nick alleges he owns.
I do allege, and I stand
This
by
looks
it.
like a stock photo, like a professional photographer took this.
Oh,
It can't be
man, I
your
wish I
car.
knew a professional photographer. I really could use one of those in my personal life.
Me too.
Hi, I'm Nick. Previously of the Tailosive Network. More recently now of the government. But other than that, next time you need to go to DMV, you can talk to me. It's one and the same thing.
Nice.
No. Yeah. So
Department
thanks for
of
having me back, guys. It's been a
Labor.
while.
It's good to have you back, Nick. We've missed you.
I'm now a member of the club, so I figured it's been a while. I have a lot of thoughts. I'm probably going to talk a lot, so I'm sorry in advance. But
So to catch up with you, Nick, last
yeah.
time you were on this podcast that came out, you were saying that you wanted to get a hybrid and that you probably wouldn't buy an EV until it could go like 1,000 miles or something like that. So that way you can drive and not have to stop. And now you own a Model 3.
saying that. I do remember saying that, and I don't disagree with my past self. However, the Model 3 was just too good of a deal.
Okay.
So I got this car. This is Redshift. This is my car, Redshift.
Nice.
It is a play.
Redshift.
It is a play on words because there's no shifting because it's, an EV, and also a really fast object will shift in the red spectrum on the visible EMF spectrum when it's going really fast. And so that is a very
The
fast
sun
car.
is hitting the puddle. Oh my god.
It is. It is a very beautiful picture. Anywho, I bought this at a 2022 Tesla Model 3 dual motor long range that had just under 80,000 miles on it. So it was a 16-month-old car that had 80,000 miles on it. I have since added another 25 or 30,000 miles to it.
What's your estimated range right now?
Estimated range when it's at 100% is 330 miles. So it has degraded a little bit, but
That's great.
Pretty good. It was a rental car, so it was on the Hertz fleet. So it was one of the Hertz vehicles. I bought it secondhand. I got a fantastic deal on it, which is part of the reason why I got that over anything else. The vehicle I had previously was a 2008 Ford Escape, which I had since high school. Yeah, this poor old Rumpelstiltskin rumbling down the road. I drove that car for, let's see, I got it at 73,000 miles, and I gave it to a friend at 190,000 miles. So I guess 120,000 miles on the Ford Escape. Wow. Over, I think, 7 years I had that car. So it was like my first car. And I remember saying a long, long time ago that was going to be my last gas car. And I guess that did hold up. I am now an EV owner. So yeah, I got the car. Well, this is my only car. My buddy has a Rivian and a Lightning that I'll drive pretty frequently as well.
I think you mentioned that last time.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
I was friends with him.
I want a buddy like that. My buddy with the Rivian sold his Rivian.
Dang it! Get new buddies. Get new buddies then.
I was gonna say goodbye, buddy. Just kidding. We love you, Mike.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the update there. So I had the Ford Escape, and it had not died, but
it escaped him.
It near died. So I gave it to a friend who's much more handy with mechanical things than I was, and so he has restored it and is actually in a more functional state than it was when I was on it. So that's good. It's still
you
living.
lived in that car for
I did,
Couple
yeah.
years, right?
When I went down to start, no, 2 weeks. Come on, it wasn't
I know.
years.
I rounded up a little bit.
Rounded up a little bit.
You lived in that car for like a decade, right?
Yeah, a decade. Yeah,
A
it was
little
a
bit.
decade. You just round up just a little bit. No one will ever notice. Yeah.
You had your
So
second and third marriage in that car. No,
oof.
I'll stop there.
Yes, that car died. And then I was borrowing my buddy who has the Rivian and the Lightning. He also had like an old Mercedes that he wasn't using, and so I borrowed that car for like 6 months because I wasn't really sure
How old was the
what I
Mercedes?
wanted. 2006. So it was not one of the cool
Wow.
Mercedes. It was a turbo diesel that occasionally turboed, which meant that it occasionally didn't go, which is a lot of fun to drive. But yeah, so I had that car for like 6 months or something. It was just a stopgap car. I lived really close to work, so I wasn't even using it all that much. But then yeah, so come last spring, Model 3 prices went really wonky for a couple months there, and I was perfectly poised to execute on that. That was very, very fortunate. So I got my car for $19,500, tax, title, documentation, destination fee, all that. So that's cheap. This was a $54,000 trim, right?
Insane.
Way back when, in the 16 months before that I bought that car. So it was quite depreciated. Had high mileage, but there was a little local dealership that was selling it, so they didn't really know, that mileage doesn't really matter on an EV. So they said, "Oh my gosh, almost
Aren't they the
80,000
best?
miles must be worth nothing." But I've put almost 30,000 miles on it. No mechanical issues. I do need to buy new tires pretty soon here. They gave me new tires when I bought the car.
How are
so
the
I do need to get
control
new
arms?
tires. The control arms,
Yeah, tell me about the
noticed
control
anything?
arms.
I haven't noticed anything wrong with them. They still feel pretty control-y, and they haven't transitioned into control legs. So at this point, I think we're good.
He's
That makes
mainly
me feel
asking
good.
because his is getting up there in mileage. And
Really?
after seeing what mine has done, not my Model 3 because I don't own one, but a Model Y,
Mhm.
and
Well, now
many
you do.
others. No, I don't. I don't own a Model 3. This image does not prove anything that I own a Model 3 or anything like that.
Yeah, it looks like you own a Model 3 to me, Mike.
This is same
looks like-
It's in
color.
the app.
Looks
Ooh,
like a
ultra
Model
wideband.
3.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Mm.
Ooh. So
So basically, Nick, you're telling me you spent less than half what I paid for my car, and you have twice the motors and more range.
yes. And also, I feel really fortunate that I got the Verizon chip. I got the Drew's gone. Yep. Again, I feel like Drew left of his own accord, but I
Mhm.
feel like I really lucked out. Like there's really no known like
You're lucky you're so far away
build
from
issues.
me right now.
I would have my car stolen, is what he's saying.
You want to
Um,
trade? LFP
It was
is
definitely
great.
not fun waiting all those years. Like, I'm glad you got your Model 3 when you did, because the waiting the extra amount of time definitely was not fun. Also, would not recommend buying from a dealership ever. That was the first time I ever bought a vehicle from a dealership, and would never do it again. It took literally 8 hours over 2 days to buy this car.
Same.
What?
I was walking in
Why?
with cash, ready to wire them cash, and it literally took them 8 hours to get the paperwork sorted. And I'm like, at the end of it, I was a livid customer at the end of it, and the we will all sympathize with this level of cringe. But at the very end, they made me wait like another hour. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna go clean it for you or whatever, and we'll come back out and show you." I'm like, "Okay." I waited there for an hour, and they were like closing, and I'm like, "Okay, where's my car?" And they're like, "I don't know. Let me ask some guy." And they went to the back, and they found Joe Blow, the dude who was cleaning the car or whatever. And he came out. And he's like, "Oh, let me take you to your car." And he's like, "I was charging it to 100% for you." And I'm like, "No, what are you doing? No, don't charge it to 100%. It was at like 100%." And he's like, "Oh, we need to leave it with, I wanted to fill it up for you." He thought he was doing me this big favor. And I'm like, "No." And then he took out the Nax plug, right? He takes it out and he forces the door down. He goes,
No.
and I'm just like, "Stop it. This is my car. This is my car now. Stop it. You're not allowed to touch this anymore."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So anyway, would not recommend buying from dealerships, but I definitely saved a lot of money on that car, and it's been a wonderful car. Have not had any mechanical problems with it. I had to fill up the windshield wiper fluid. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. A big
Ooh.
budget item there. I had to
I haven't done
go
that yet.
get some windshield
to
wiper
be fair.
fluid. So yeah, but it's treated me well.
Congrats.
30,000 miles in 6 months. So it might be a 60,000
So how many
mile
miles
year.
is the odometer at?
105.
Wow.
Well,
So it charges to
you've beaten me, I think, which I think I'm currently the high score odometer Tesla on the podcast. So
He
it's nice
was.
to know
Well,
that. Yeah, nice to know that
you
you
were.
beat me.
Was/were. Yeah, I'm 105,500 and
Well, Mike has driven the most miles out of
true.
us,
Yeah.
but
no, those
Yeah.
are
Nick
not all
has
my
the
miles.
most miles on his
Exactly.
vehicle.
Exactly.
Dang.
Fair
That's-
enough.
That's
Served me
impressive
well,
to
and
me.
even if it piddles out at 160K and I need a big expensive battery replacement, like it was cheap enough where it's just like whatever. Like it was less than 20 grand, and supposedly if this tiny little feckless dealership can get all their paperwork together, I theoretically should be able to get $4,000 for the whatever used EV credit thing.
So it was
might be even
19,000
cheaper.
before the credit?
Yep. So they couldn't do it point of sale because they weren't hooked up with the IRS system or whatever, because they're a tiny dealership that doesn't deal with EVs much. But I've read all the laws and stuff, and they've given me the paperwork so that I should be able to file. When I file my taxes, I should get $4,000 back on my taxes next year for this purchase. So,
Oh my God, Nick,
yeah.
Drew,
what are you going to do with all that
really-
money?
I think you bought it the really wrong time, Drew.
Well, see, now I'm in the boat of I have Hardware 3. One of my really close friends has a refresh Model 3, and he has Hardware 4. And it's very nice riding around in his spaceship with air-conditioned seats. And
Wait a minute.
now
Wait a
every
minute.
time I open up my car door that has this little creak, I have to tell myself $19,500, $19,500, $19,500, and it makes me feel better.
In the screenshot you sent from your app,
Mhm.
it says you have FSD 12.5.2.
Yes, I do.
I never got that, Nick, and I have Hardware 3.
I just updated yesterday. I just got an update yesterday.
Had to
wait,
be
Drew,
the
you don't have
end
it?
of the 90 days. Had to be.
What-
They
what do you
waited for
mean?
my 90-day redemption to expire, and then they rolled it out to all the Hardware 3 vehicles. Man,
Were you on a? Do you pay for FSD? Did you buy FSD? I can't remember.
not with dollars.
Oh, you
I
did
paid
credits.
I paid in credits, and it expired 2 days ago.
Oh,
And now-
I'm so sorry.
And now they add it. Oh.
So
Oh,
neither of you
I'm
have
so
tried
sorry.
out the new FSD then?
Can we say the
tried it
name
on
of
a
the new
test
parking
drive.
lot FSD?
The
Are we
parking
not
lot
allowed to say that?
FSD?
You can
Yeah.
you can read
Actually,
it out.
Smart Summon.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I am still waiting for actually Smart Summon. Both of my friends with refreshed Model 3s actually literally 9 minutes ago. One of my friends just got the 12.5.2.1, which is the actually Smart Summon update on his refresh. So
Wait, how did you get FSD, Nick?
I pay for it monthly.
Okay.
Nice. It's a good way to do it.
If
Yeah,
you were going to
like,
say
okay,
it
so-
came with the car, I would have flipped this deck.
Yes, it came with the car.
My God. My goodness.
No,
What a steal.
it did not.
What a bargain.
Yeah.
I've never heard
Even-
of someone getting a 3 long range for that low.
Yep.
Ugh.
I mean, I shopped it and it was literally local. Like it was not. I was ready. I was searching all over the country. Like I was ready to fly.
How'd you find it? What
California.
website did you use?
I was Edmunds List, and I was literally
Ah.
just sorted Edmunds List by nationwide. I knew I wanted a long range, and
And it wasn't a salvage
was it.
title?
No, it's a clean title. One owner, no accidents.
They just wanted to get rid of it.
I know it's literally because Hertz fire selling all of their Model 3s in like that 2-month window, and that was like literally it wouldn't have worked the month before financially for me. It was just like, okay,
Because
I
I've
can
looked
just
on
drop all this
websites and
money right now. Let's
marketplace.
do it.
I've not seen a single Model 3 from that year.
Yeah, no.
at
Right
that
now,
low
my
a price.
car, I've looked at Kelly Blue Book on my car. My car is worth $24,000 right now on Kelly Blue Book. So like,
well, that
it's
makes
a
me feel
depreciating asset. So like,
better.
Dave Ramsey.
My gosh.
Did it come without the arrow caps, or did you take them off?
It came with 2 of the arrow caps, and both of the 2 arrow caps were
Wait,
just
where were they?
curbed to heck.
Oh no.
Which
Where's
2?
it?
The
Front
left?
2, back 2?
I don't think it matters, right? They're interchangeable. I peeled them off
No,
as soon as I got them.
these are the kind of pointless details that matter to me.
Okay, I don't remember. I have them at my hanger, so they're
His hanger.
I was wondering if they were on
Dang.
like diagonally mounted, like
no, they're
one
on the same
front
side.
left.
I think they're on the same
Okay.
side.
Wow.
But regardless, I don't like the arrow covers. I think the arrow covers look stupid. So I'm glad that they don't have because I like. Wow,
It looks
the arrow
clean.
covers.
Thank
It
you.
looks
Appreciate it.
real clean. And I'm
I
very
appreciate
happy for you, Nick. It's something that
Thank
after the last time you were on this podcast talking about you would probably get like a hybrid or whatever, I kind of lost hope. I'm like, well, maybe in 20 years he'll get an EV.
I will say, so I road trip a lot in this car, right? Like
Mhm.
I put a lot of miles on this car in a very short amount of time, which means road tripping. I travel, we're 38 weeks into the year of 2024, and I have traveled for 35. I guess if you count tomorrow's trip, 36 of the weeks of this year. So all but 2 weeks of this year I've traveled, and it's about equally divided between flying and driving somewhere. So I drive pretty frequently. Most frequently, I drive down to Brownsville, which is like an 8-hour drive. Hit 2
Mhm.
superchargers. I leave the house full. I hit a supercharger after about 2 hours of driving, and then I hit another supercharger after about 2 hours of driving, and then I arrive at my friend's house at like basically 6% or something. But I installed a 32 amp charger at her house, so I just charge at her house
With all the money you
Um,
saved.
with all the money I saved. Exactly, it was just some
With all that money
people.
you saved,
People
you
who
could
are
get an
okay.
iCloud
Okay,
membership.
I do have multiples of those. You should watch the Tech podcast for more information on that story.
Yeah.
This has become a pet peeve. Now that I've done it, now that I understand how this all works, this is a pet peeve of mine when people are like, "Oh, I have to get a charger installed in my house." I was literally talking to my dad about this a couple weeks ago. I was like, "Hey, would you ever consider an EV?" And he's like, "Well, gotta like install a charger," and like I would never do that. And even if someone gave me I'm like, "Okay, dude, whatever, that's fine. You do you." But like
The shade.
lots of shade. But the house that I'm living at right now, my roommate slash landlord slash really good friend Reeve, he bought this house. It's like a 1968 is when it was built, so it's like a 50s bungalow. It's in the Houston area, right next to JSC, like real like classic kind
Now
of.
people
I'll
will
look
be
it
able
up.
to
What's the
find you,
address?
Nick.
It's
I'll write it down.
123.
He literally just
G-O-F.
did the IP address meme right there.
It
It's in a bungalow right next to Houston, over on
No,
this
it is.
corner of the street.
It is.
But
But
Nick is a
anyways.
gun owner, people, so don't go tracking him down.
What? You assume too much. Just because I'm in Texas does not mean that.
Everything's
Oh,
close in
Nick,
Texas.
you don't have to pretend here.
I am a Tesla owner, so that'll confuse all the Texans. I have gotten cold rolled a couple times, like
Oh,
been
yeah.
aggressively
Isn't
cold
that
rolled. I'm
fun?
like, come on,
It's like, for me?
for me,
Wow,
oh,
you're
for me, and then I
angry.
pop it out of chill mode and put it into regular mode. I'm just like,
Thank
That's why I
goodness.
swap between, depending on what state I am, I put a Kamala sticker and then a Trump sticker just so I don't get run off the road. I just switch between. I just need a little rotating bumper.
rotating thingy. You get an
It
e-ink
detects
display
the-
on the back.
It detects the voting tendencies of each
It's like
county
on the
you're in.
visualizer. It's if it's a pickup truck, it's a Trump sticker, and if it's like a sedan, it's a Kamala sticker. It's perfect. It's a perfect.
Mike
perfect.
loves this idea, just for the record.
But anyway, back to my big pet peeve about about people's impressions on EVs. We installed two 40 amp chargers in the garage for like
Wow.
less than $150 worth of parts. Like people who think
Wow.
that this is
Really?
a big complicated
Did you
deal
install it
are
yourself?
stupid. Yeah, it's not that hard,
Mm.
folks. It's not
That's
that
where you
hard.
save the money.
Yeah, it's like literally took me and my roommate and like another friend from NASA like an evening. Like
And a
we
few cold
were-
beers.
we literally they had some alcoholic beverages. I don't drink, but like they had some alcoholic beverages and we had some fun music
Hey,
going. And
Don't
like,
wire under the influence, okay?
Don't wire
Yeah,
all
the breakers
wired.
are off. I'm sure.
But
It's only 40 amps. It won't hurt that bad.
So we have two NEMA 1450 chargers, one on each side of the garage. He doesn't have an EV yet, but his next car is also going to be an EV, so we just wired up both. And then so he has a 250 amp service to his house. Absolutely insane. The four houses on the corner share 1,000 amp service, so we all have 250. The house doesn't use more than 100, so we sent 100 amp service to the garage. So we're able to have all the amperages in the garage. So we have two 40 amp car chargers and then some power tools and stuff.
So how do you feel about road tripping now so frequently with an EV compared to your old Escape?
I definitely stop more than I used to, but it is not bad. Like it is.
Thank you.
Much more relaxing, I guess.
Yes.
But I do have to plan it out. So, okay. So example,
you have to plan it out in terms of your time because the Tesla does all the planning.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course I use the Tesla to do route planning, but, so like example, if I was going to go visit, people up in Missouri or something, that is, I think 12 hours of, ish of, regular ICE car driving. And on my Tesla, it's more like 15, with charging stops. And so at that point, I could do 12 hours in a day, and I have actually as recently as Christmas. I went up there in the Mercedes Benz, that was a gas car, and I did that in 12 hours. That wasn't too bad. Pretty much just straight through, stopped for gas a couple times. But 15 hours is like, 15
Do you know
hours
how many miles
much.
it is?
It's like 800 and something. Not off the top of my head. I could look it up, but
it's about the distance.
Would figure out exactly where it's going.
No, I was just saying it's about that distance to my parents' place, and I've done that in 12 hours in the Sonata.
Really?
But then in the Model 3, which is the standard range, by the way, I've done it in 14 hours.
Okay.
So
maybe it's not as bad as the route planner's predicting or something, but I haven't tried it yet because it's just, I don't know. I travel so frequently that I really just travel on the weekends. Like I do, off Friday, Saturday, Sunday trips. And so like it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to spend a day there and a day driving back. So I found I really only drive to and I have to. Not my ideal thing. So I'll drive like Tallahassee is as far as I've driven on a weekend in that car. I'll drive to Dallas or Austin or Brownsville, or even out to like Waco or something. So still like the Texas area. Texas is huge.
Pronounced wacko.
Wacky.
It is wacko in Waco, Texas. And attest, been there.
That was a deep Office reference. Sorry.
We did just under 800 miles when we drove to Salt Lake City. So.
Oh my God! I forgot we did that for a second.
You forgot that we drove.
Like, when did we drive to? Oh, that's right. That was like 2 weeks ago.
I don't know if you caught that, Nick.
I saw it floating around on the internet. You guys went to visit Randy. How did that trip go?
It was a long drive. But it was good. Very much like what you're saying. Tesla plans for it, but you have to plan with it with time, and that's something that Drew and I were having to figure out when we were doing the first leg and the second leg of when do we want to be at X or Y location, and
it's not bad. Like they're 15-minute stop, 15-20-minute stop.
It's so reassuring.
Biologically, it's good for you.
It's reassuring to hear this now from you, Nick, because before I'm glad I have a redemption. Never stop. I mean, if I get it, in which
I would never stop.
I still stand by that though. Like if I did have a gas car, or if magically my Model 3 could just drive for 1,000 miles, I would totally do that. But guess what? I'm not doing for the 2 hours while I'm driving. I'm not driving. The car's driving. I'm staring at the road and other things, but I'm not driving.
Watch for them potholes.
Yeah, true.
They'll jump out potholes.
At you. There's a few roads. I don't know. We could talk more about FSD later or whatever, but like I don't know. It's
there's a lot. Do you remember, Nick? Back when? Sorry, this is just my callback episode. Do you remember that time? You remember when?
Inside Out 2.
There was a point where back when you were editing
not time
the
for
podcast,
you yet, nostalgia.
And in the description of each podcast, you just left at the very end, and talk about the state of FSD. And you left that in
Yes.
for like
That was just
15
there.
episodes in a
Yep.
row because you were
Yep.
like, I just want to cover that so I don't have to write it each time. It's like, and talk
Well,
about FSD.
I thought you were
talk
gonna. I
about
thought you were gonna say something else, Drew. Like more specifically, like concerns that I have,
Oh,
like things that
what?
I am like worried about. Like I'm kind of worried about the Cybertruck.
Woo!
Bingo!
Bingo!
Oh,
Wow.
it's been so long.
Insanity.
We need to capture that audio right now.
Wow.
I was
It's
going
been
to figure out at
6
some
years.
point.
5 years.
Oh my gosh, has it been? I was gonna figure out how many times you said that, Nick, and then turn into a compilation and put on the
Oh,
podcast.
Mike,
But-
why would you torture yourself?
Yeah, that-
with-
Yeah,
sounds like a
that's
lot of-
why I
A
stopped.
lot of hours wasted.
Oh my god!
Oh,
But
that would
wow.
take so long.
right.
Let Halami do it or someone.
Insanity.
I don't know.
Just insanity.
So you haven't
Just
had any serious issues with the Model 3 so far?
No, I mean, knock on wood, I guess. But like,
Okay.
we're over 100K. We're pushing 120, and
Gotcha.
That's
I
amazing.
have no problems.
It's a lot better than what I've been dealing with my Model Y.
Really?
It's been a bit of
What
an issue
happened?
recently.
Oh,
So-
no.
It's an early VIN Model Y from
See,
what you recall back.
I
in, like-
lucked out. I got the very tail end of them.
Yeah. And
Tell me
so-
more about your problems of early VIN.
So what-
I
think it
shall
was-
listen and be entertained.
So the history
Hmm.
so far has been in the first few months, the hatch on the back of it was rubbing. And so instead of correcting the misalignment, they just gave me a whole new hatch.
Oh my
So it's
gosh.
slightly different colored midnight silver metallic
Oh no!
hatch. What was the other? There's a few other
this
things
is
that
nothing.
were going on.
This is the
But-
tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Oh
right.
no! The
I'm just giving
Titanic
a
has
sum-
sunk, and Ocean Gate is there too.
Oh no, please stop. I'll give a quick little summary. So yeah, that the other major
True.
body work is the interior doors. I've got an answer for that. That's not reflected on the images. So my dogs, at some point, I have 3 dogs, and they ravaged the interior door
Oh, no.
panels. Not too much, but enough to where it's like
That
I don't
sounds like
know.
an early VIN problem, Drew.
No, but it was something
Stupid
that
Tesla making
Anyways.
those doors that's susceptible to dog paws.
I got the pet liner right after it happened, which was annoying. But anyways, I didn't know how long Tesla was going to support like these doors. Who knows if they were or not. So I figured, okay, I'd get the new doors now. They replaced 3 out of the 4 doors.
Oh my gosh!
I only needed 2 replaced.
So you got a free door.
Yes, so that was the thing. I talked with them about it in this service visit with the suspension noise, and the guy couldn't figure out why they gave me a 3rd door. And it wasn't his service center that did it. It was a different one. And he couldn't figure out why they gave me a 3rd door for free. So now I just have 3 updated doors and 1 old door. What's the other?
Wow.
Oh yeah, the upper control arm. Drew was mentioning that
Mm.
earlier. The front left upper control arm was starting to squeak, and that happened right after my basic warranty
of course.
ended. And
Very loudly.
yeah, like I would turn it, and everyone around would look at me, wondering what that horrific noise is.
What was the problem?
So with Model 3s and Model Ys,
Very
I don't know
common
if
problem.
I don't know if it's a
Yeah,
Model S and X issue, but at least with 3s and Ys, the windshield. So when there's water on it, it's not just going to pool in like the little sill that
Mhm.
goes
It
under
goes
the hood.
down. Yeah.
It goes down. So that channel where it goes down into leads straight to the upper control arm.
Oh, that's stupid.
And so it dumps right on the joint. Yeah,
Don't
right.
doubt. Don't bet against Elon, Nick.
I don't
God.
know. I know the guy pretty well.
He
No
landed
thanks.
rockets. I don't know if you knew this, but
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
He's wearing a shirt. I didn't realize
Thanks.
it. He's wearing a space.
I had no idea. I definitely.
I don't
have
like your
no idea.
cynicism towards Tesla right now. You're being such a hater.
Oh my gosh.
My God.
Anyways, so it dumped so this is a thing that happened with a lot of Model 3s, Model Ys. I'm not too sure if they've corrected it or not, but at least with the new upper control arms that might be in you and Drew's Model 3s, they have a different cover on that joint. So that way water doesn't ingress the same way as the old
Okay.
Model 3s and Ys.
They dipped it in Flex Seal.
Anyway,
Phil Swift.
Yeah, I was thinking the JonTron where he dips a whole drill in. But
That's it.
so now looking at the photos here, a new sound came up, which is it sounded suspension wise on the front right, and
It sounded
would just
sus.
so
It
Drew was
sounded
in the
early
car at one
finish.
point. It was very clunk 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 on like relatively flat roads.
It's extremely noticeable.
They resolved it, and I didn't know what it was, but they described it as it was coming from the stabilizer links, which they also said is something that isn't uncommon for Teslas to have replaced in like the first 70,000 miles.
It usually happens around 50.
so I'm safe.
Usually happens around the 50,000th first mile.
Right. So here's the really annoying thing about it. These are both problems that aren't they won't cause damage to the vehicle. Like you're not in any danger if you're hearing or having these same issues as me, but they're really loud and annoying to where it sounds like your vehicle's going to fall apart. It's purely noise, vibration, and was it handling or wherever it is. It's purely that. It's not even like they will become decrepit and fall apart and your car will start skidding on the ground at 7 miles an hour. That won't happen is what they claim. They claim it's just going to be noisy for as long as it will be until you fix it. And with my wife being one that doesn't like hearing very loud, audacious noises coming from the car that she's driving because it concerns her, along with myself, we got replaced for a whopping $473.
It's not too bad.
No, but
there goes the gas
hurts.
saving.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, fair.
So, I like how the fine print says no issues at this time.
No,
that's a real
as soon
good
as we finished
sign
writing
for
that, the wheels fell off. But
yeah,
at this time, it's fine.
At this time period.
Within this minute, it's okay. I'm so sorry, Mike. I wish I.
In the meantime, they gave me a Model 3 to drive around, which was pretty much the same color and all that.
It's a performance.
It's a performance 2019.
19.
2019.
That's faster than your car.
It
you don't even have the new screen.
No
the visual light. Oh man.
So it had cat paws on it, and it smelled like a cat was in there for a couple days.
It's possible it's still in there.
It's possible.
Probably in the front. Have you looked in the front?
I looked all over. I was trying to figure out where the smell was coming.
At least it's the same color.
My wife went to the garage and saw it, and she's like, ew, where's our car?
Ew. That's it. It's a little deflated.
Faster, honey.
Yeah. It was a fun car to drive around, but I really miss the Model Y after the
What do you miss about it?
The height, the not smelling like cat pee.
Picky. Jeez.
I will say occasionally on a hot summer's day, my car will smell like a rental car. You know, like that, like probably was smoked in vaguely, but there was enough like odorizer to like mask it. Sometimes I get in my car and I'm like, $19,500, $19,500, $19,500.
Are you sure it wasn't? You sure it wasn't you that smelled that way? Is that possible?
I mean, seeing how I don't frequent cigarettes, probably not.
You need one of those.
Oh, you quit. That's good.
Oh my gosh, what?
No,
talk about that on the podcast. Nick's that's for those listening.
Months in now, baby. Woo!
So that's the reason why Nick left. He had to go to rehab for his cigarette addiction.
Yeah.
What the heck?
That's
I have never
hilarious.
smoked in my life, mother.
Anyways, what was the last thing I was going to say about? Oh, so
I'm happy we all have threes now. This makes
no, I don't have a Model 3. No matter what
Tesla
the
app,
shows.
your Tesla app
no matter
tells me
what's
different.
No.
Okay, I got a real question for you, Mike.
I've got a real answer for you, Nick.
Now being a newly minted Model 3 user,
what
am I missing out on? Because when I was pricing out, obviously I got my car super cheap for under 20 grand, Drew. But Model Ys were like 35,000 at the time, and so it was literally almost double the price to get a Model Y. And we all know that I look like Bowser trying to fit into the Model 3, which I still look like Bowser trying to fit into Model 3. Now I'm like 100 pounds lighter from when I was actually doing that, so you know I fit in width wise.
Now you just look like Shaq.
Length, yeah, I look like not Shaq, like
like a white
toothpick.
shack.
Take the
white-
compliment when I give them, Nick. Oh my God.
Was that my one issued compliment for this whole show? All right.
Saying you look like white shack?
I'll frame
Yeah,
that.
I guess that's a compliment.
Thanks.
It's like a
But anyway, what am I
downgrade, but-
missing on the Model Y versus the Model 3? Because like I have my list, but like what am I missing?
The space is nice. The height is nice.
What about the roof?
What about it? Like, it's great for
panoramic.
those behind me, but not for me because I have to look straight up to enjoy it.
Okay.
But
Well, with Nick's height, he would be in the like second row of your Model
Yeah, just
Y.
take out the driver's seat. Every time you turn on, it's like
I think
And he could
we
reach-
made that
No
joke so
front
many
driver's
times.
seat.
I remember that.
It's like we
moving
all
the tape.
come home after a long trip.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also,
I would say, what?
Bioweapon defense mode.
Yeah, I don't have that, unfortunately, because
Do I?
mine's an early with a 20.
not on
No,
a 3.
because Drew doesn't have it.
No, none of the 3s have it. Even the newest 3s don't have
Oh, really?
bioweapon. It's a size constraint. Yeah, you need
Mm.
They can't physically fit the filter in the Model 3, but they can in the Y, S,
Wait,
and
they have
X.
so much room for that frunk. What do you store in your frunk? Both of you go.
My
towel,
lunchbox
water,
and
brownies.
groceries that smell like pizza and I guess groceries.
The eye hook.
The eye hook.
All right. So far,
Oh,
I only have
okay.
one of these similar items. So continue.
2 lunch
What do you-
boxes.
What-
Dirty
I
objects.
also store beach towels. That
Yeah.
seems to be the perfect place to store beach towels.
I pretty much put
Um,
dirty objects in the front
and
because
tripods.
it's easy to clean compared to putting it in the back of the car where it's kind of like a carpety felt, and I don't want to clean
Mm.
that after I put
Mm.
like a sandy towel or a greasy something or other.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so the front is nice for that. Do you use yours at all?
I have tripods and sunscreen and beach towels and a roll-up inflatable mattress in case I need to crash somewhere on my long road trips.
Have you slept in the back of the 3?
I have. I've slept in the 3 a couple times.
Yes,
It's actually pretty nice. Yeah. I mean,
There was a time, Nick, where you were like, "I refuse to get the 3 because I'm a big guy. I need the Y. I would
Yes.
never get the 3.
if I was
it's too
dropping
small."
$40,000 or $50,000, I would get the car that I want. But Drew, might I remind you that I spent $19,500 on this vehicle?
This is how much your vehicle costs now.
How much does my vehicle cost now?
Is that after savings? No, get rid of the savings. 50,000.
Ooh.
Yeah, see.
But would you get the all-wheel drive or would you get the rear-wheel drive?
I would probably still get the all-wheel drive. I like the sportiness of it. It is really
Mhm.
fun.
The
It is
polling sensation is fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. I leave it in chill mode 99%
Look
of
at
the
us.
time.
We have 2 motors in our Tesla.
Okay, Drew. Drew's jealous. Drew's hardcore jealous over here. But there are actually it's fun to do it, when you're first on the stoplight or whatever, and it's like a 65 or whatever. In Houston, we
Mhm.
have plenty of those streets. That's fun. But there are actually useful times where I'm pulling up to like a divided highway I'm trying to turn left onto or something where I'm like, I know I'm going to need to get and go quick. And so I have on the control wheel on the left side, I have the shortcut set to toggle between chill and regular mode. And it is very nice to just like press hold, roll down, press again to now I'm in like way too fast mode. I am terrified every time I drive that. And I'm just like, I'm like hanging onto the steering wheel. I'm like,
Turn it off.
exactly. We're going too fast. Can't stop. We have to slow down. But
We can't.
but like that actually scares me. So I do leave it on chill like almost all the
Y'all
time. I
make
love
me
how
laugh.
smooth it is. It's
All 3 of
so
you,
smooth.
the one who's not here, also drives in chill too. Crazy.
Right,
He's so
Randy?
chill. He is so chill.
You can't believe you just outed him like that. That's why he's not speaking.
That's why he's giving this look.
He is indisposed.
But yeah, y'all drive and chill. I don't understand it. Like, what's
And hey, our suspension's working just fine. Have you noticed anything?
Also, we get better efficiency. We're not wasting as many electrons. I will say though, like sometimes on like the Katy Highway in Houston is like the widest highway in America. It's like 20 something lanes across or something. It's ridiculous. On that highway and on many other highways around here, there are times where I will just put it in regular mode, not sport mode, because I don't have that, but just regular mode. And like I feel like I need that to survive on these roads sometimes. Like I don't remember what I used to do when I didn't have a Tesla. Like I was talking with a friend the other day. And it's like I literally haven't driven a gas car in over 3 months.
That's a big highway.
Yeah, that's Katy Highway. Yep.
I wish I could say the same.
So it's like I don't know what I would do. Like my driving has gotten so lazy, because I can just push the stock down and it drives itself. Yep, there's Katy Highway. Yep.
That's insane.
Yep. And when traffic
You
is
could
going
fit at least 12 soccer balls on that.
Or at least 5 GMC Hummer EVs.
Probably 4.
It'd be a tight squeeze. It'd be a little tight. But yeah, maybe. Nick actually took this from his glasses. That's when he took this photo.
I had to crack the window on the top of my Model 3 so I fit in it. And when I'm driving down the highway,
Nick is freaking Big Bird in a car. He's Jeffrey the giraffe from Toys R Us.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Again, watch the Tech Podcast for full context.
Well, I can't exactly remember the last time Nick was on the podcast, but I don't know what else has happened in terms of EV driving. Do you have any experience with the Cybertruck? Do you have any thoughts on it now that it's out and released?
I have lots of friends who have them, and I got to drive VIN. I don't think I'm allowed to say the exact VIN number, but it was under 20.
And above 18.
Above 18. Yeah, I agree. That is not narrowing it down very much. Anyway, one of my good friends, we met in January, and he had he used to work at Tesla, so he had like one of the very first cars off the line.
Oh, was he on the charging team? I'm sorry.
No, he was not laid off that way. Unfortunate circumstances, but anywho, enough of his personal life. His truck though was one of the very first ones, and it was really weird because at that time in January, that's actually his truck. Yeah, in January, like nobody had Cybertrucks. Like
I remember,
it was like early January, nobody had Cybertrucks, and we drove it through like a little strip mall, and I kid you not, everyone was looking at us. Babies were looking at me. Grandmas were looking at me. Everyone had their phones out. It was the weirdest feeling ever. And I see what celebrities talk about. Like, this is just a really weird sensation. Like, we're rolling down this, in front of a Barnes and Noble and a Smoothie King. And it's like, we're rolling down in the Cybertruck, and everyone stopping, getting out of their car, rolling down their windows, turning around. Babies are crying. Grandmas are running. It's like, wow, this is just a truck. But it was a cool.
Are the babies crying F-150 owners? Is that why?
Yes, they're small childs and small other things.
Ram drive.
Mm-hmm. Actually, the Lightning is also. I can't remember when the last time I was on the show, but yeah, I have a lot of experience with the Lightning as well. I did a really long, terrible,
distance. I remember that.
Very terrible road trip. Have not repeated that in the Lightning. Bottom line with the Lightning: do not drive a standard range Ford Lightning with 1 metric ton of airplane parts and an 18-foot boat between Houston and Wisconsin, because you will be stopping every 90 miles. You will be stopping every 80 miles between every Walmart parking lot, and you will be charging from 10 to 100% every time, and that does take 2 hours. So that took like 58 hours of driving. Like,
at least you can plug those in at Tesla superchargers now.
I've met a few of those people. Not my favorite people, because they park the wrong direction and they mess it all up for everybody.
But they have to. They don't have a choice.
And it's only going to happen more and more.
They could have bought a better truck.
I was going to say, it's only going to grow more and more in frequency, because now we have Kia and Hyundai adopting it and getting in next year.
As a freshly minted Tesla owner, all those other EV owners can go suck it at a Walmart parking lot and drink down those electrons.
Well, I want what side of the argument he's on.
Yep, don't have to ask about that.
No, in all actuality, I think it's cool that everyone's adopting NACS, but
sounds very familiar.
Unfortunate that we're gonna all suffer for it. So
To be fair, there's far more Teslas than F-150s or Rivians, so
sure, I wouldn't
Tesla
mind a
is
Rivian.
clogging
I
the
like a Rivian.
network far more than Ford or Rivian.
But we were at a comfortable medium. But then now I roll up to a supercharger in, where were we? New Jersey, and it was full. But the Tesla app said there was one stall available, and we roll up there, and it's a backwards parked Lightning parked in front of the one charger. Like they were taking up 2 spots, and it's like the app didn't, the Tesla screen didn't know that it thought there was one available, so it routed us there, and we're sitting there like
It should have a way to know. I
it
agree.
should,
That would be
but it
cool. It'd
doesn't.
be like, oh,
So,
Ford is here. Take
yeah,
out the nearest stall
exactly.
to it.
Because we didn't have to stop there; we could have gone to the next one. But it was like, oh, stop here, and like, okay. But then we sat there for 5 minutes waiting for someone else to finish charging. As a disaster. Anyway, you asked about the
Sounds terrible.
Cybertruck. Steering is very cool. I really enjoy the steering. The foot pedal almost killed me. So I'm really glad I died. I did make
Wow.
sure to take out all the grandmas with the pointy triangle.
Oh, good.
Although I was trying to tow an F-150 and the whole back bumper fell off. So I don't know what the deal is about that. Um, I think it's a fine
You
truck.
too are a man of culture. I see.
Yeah, it's a $40,000 car that people are buying for sometimes much more than $100,000, and I am truly sorry for everyone who bought one, because similar to me with my Model 3 purchase, I'm very grateful I did not get a 2018 Model 3. I'm very grateful I got a 2022 Model 3 because there's no issues with it. There's no build quality issues. It's 105,000 miles, and there's no fit and finish rattling issues, no suspension issues. Like, it's fine. But my poor Cybertruck friend who has the low VIN has had very major things replaced on his truck just because it was low VIN. Now,
I'm
obviously, that's all
sensing a
covered
theme
right
now.
now. Yeah, he is his truck. At one point, his truck had spent more time at Tesla getting serviced than he had it, and that was like
I've heard that
months
from
into
multiple
owning it.
people.
And they're like, "Oh, here's a loaner," and he's like, "Well, I already have a Model S. I'll just drive that." You're sad.
But now you
Do
could
I-
have 2 Model S's. Beautiful.
You can have your
Wow.
Plaid, and you can have this really crappy P75D.
So is that the price then you'd put on it? You'd consider a
I put
Cybertruck at 40,000?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the Tesla tax and the hype around it, so maybe 50 is fair. But like just looking at it, like I've seen Cybertrucks just right off the lot, and like there is significant, like the this is obviously part of the design, but the steel isn't rounded over, right? It's just stamped steel. So like it's sharp and jagged, and it's like they didn't even take like it's the aesthetic, but it just doesn't feel nice. Like it,
Yeah.
like my car, the metal like rolls over so that the metal between the panels, like it's like a smooth rounded metal. But with the Cybertruck, it's just angles, which I get is part of the aesthetic. Don't at me in the comments, but it's just like it doesn't feel premium. And then there's a bunch of machine marks on the body panels themselves. That truck that I'm specifically referring to is, I think, VIN like 2000 ish. Not that one, but the one that I like took a jeweler's lope to pretty much right after it was delivered. And like it has like swirly like polishing issues, some like deep
Mhm.
scratches that you couldn't just buff out from like something. And it's just like
You know
little things
that
like that
tallest
that just
point, the little thin
hmm
piece?
hmm
Anyone can rip that off
oh yeah, it's
without much
flimsy as
force.
heck. Exactly.
And I've seen it on every single Cybertruck I've looked at. I've poked at it and it
Like
gives, because it's just this narrow strip of pins and glue, and you can just. And the first few that were delivered, several of them popped off. Chris
oh
from 30
geez.
Tesla documented that. He's driving down the
Oof.
freeway and it's just like the air is pulling it back. No, it's like a solid foot off of the side of the truck. It wasn't
Yikes.
even just a little bit off. It was like, so.
Yikes.
But they had 3 months to design it, and then 4 years to figure out how to mass produce it. So it took them a bit.
Exactly. No problems at all.
Jeez.
No, but I think it'll get there. I mean, I give it like 3 years. The parts of the vehicle are cheap, right? Like right now they're selling it because they can for high prices. But like you got a couple electric motors, some batteries that they are manufacturing the heck out of, so they're going to have plenty of supply of batteries, so batteries aren't going to be the primary expense. And you got some like sheet steel. Like it's the whole
very cheap.
frame is uniformly like unipressed or whatever. So it's like it's a cheap vehicle that is cool because it's a cool unique design. There's a lot of hype around it, but I am very much looking forward to in 3 to 5 years when the hype and stuff is gone and the build quality is improved, we can have, reasonably priced $40,000-$50,000 Cybertruck. I'd see myself owning a Cybertruck, but just not at the price points that they're currently at.
Did you ever get your money back from the deposits?
No, actually, it was really funny. I have changed card numbers since then, and there was no way in the Tesla account to update my card number. And so I got emails that they refunded me my money, but I never saw it. So someone somewhere got a couple $100 from Nicky and Sweeney.
Wow. That's why they took so long. It makes sense. They were like,
trying-
we're waiting for all the reservation cards to expire before we deliver any. Dang.
So is it
Sorry,
still your most favorite EV out there, or is there something that has piqued your interest more that is coming to market or is on the market right now?
That's a good question. I've thought about that a couple times. Obviously, I like my current car quite a bit, but I have enough friends with refresh Model 3s to know that my car is no longer the bee's knees. And just like my phone, at some point I'll want a new one. However, the
Excuse me.
you laughing at my grammar?
No,
Are you laughing at my
sneezed.
grammar? Sure. No, that's a sarcastic sneeze if I've
I was
ever
like, Nick, this is a verbal conversation. You're not dictating. I hope.
No.
Sorry.
Apple Intelligence has entered the chat. No, the Rivians are really nice. I have extensive time with the R1T. Done many road trips in that. It's a much nicer road trip car than the Lightning is. Haven't spent a lot of time in the who makes the Ioniq 5s?
Hyundai.
Those Hyundai. Those look really nice. I've seen them at work quite a bit. A lot of people have them at work. They seem very popular. I think personally, I'm going to be an R3S person. I have an R2 reservation, so whenever the R3S comes out,
that's
I'll be
news to
hopping on
me.
that. Yeah, so I have it says $100 or whatever, same as a Cybertruck. So yeah,
Just make sure to refund it before the card.
Don't change your card numbers.
Right. No, but yes, the R2 might be my next vehicle. I don't know. The more I live with the sedan, like, yes, it's uncomfortable standing up and down, but like, I'm young, my knees are fine, I can get in and out okay. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And I appreciate the efficiencies of it. I wouldn't say supremacy, but they're efficient. So it's like, okay, you can be a alt sedan supremacist.
Wow, that was a careful choice of words.
We're not demonetized yet, boys.
Not yet. We'll get there. So you say you like efficiency, huh?
Am I about to get a pitch for a little cute little truck and/or a little 3-wheel and motorcycle car?
Well, I don't know. We'll just see.
Also, are you employed by any of these vehicles? Oh, wow! Look at this. Wow.
I didn't realize he had that queued up. That's kind of perfect timing. But I hear you like high range to make good time on road trips. So, but you don't want to spend
selling on this before.
You don't want to spend $100,000 on your vehicle.
I'm convinced. You've already convinced me. You don't need to say anything else. I am very much interested in Aptera. Will it have CarPlay too? That's my question.
I think so. It will at least have CarPlay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here on Talos of EV first. Will it have CarPlay too?
I don't know about the enhanced CarPlay thing, but it will at least have basic CarPlay.
Okay. But, I think that's the biggest thing.
Have you seen the UI, the latest UI?
Yeah. For Aptera?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
I got to show you right now.
He's probably got it. If not, I'm about to beat him to it. No, he beat me.
Okay. So these are the latest renders from last year. There's new renders now, but I can't show them. For the most part, it's the same. But then look at this user interface.
It's
I've got a closer look on it as well. If it's too far away for you.
hold on, let me adjust my spectacles. It says park.
Yeah, there's a P. There's a P, and then it shows you how many watts you're getting from the solar.
Okay.
How
I
long
think that
until you hit
feature's
your charge
BS,
limit?
by the
Screw,
way.
just switch to my
What?
screen. It's so much closer.
What did you just say?
Switch to
Having
my-
solar panels on the top of your car is a nice gimmick, but as the whatever ocean car proved, not very it doesn't actually do much.
You couldn't be more wrong.
Two totally different sized and shaped vehicles.
Okay.
Do you know
What am I missing?
Would you like to explain why you're wrong? I'll give you a chance now before I completely lose my mind.
No, I'm right.
I'm about to see a murder happen, ladies and gentlemen.
I just get up and start running to Texas. Oh, yeah, weird. Do you know exactly how?
And he's gone.
Don't lose your AirPods.
Don't remind him.
Don't.
It was as destructive
So-
as the first Cybertruck glass demonstration.
Nicholas.
Yes, Jonathan.
Ugh. Do you know how many miles per kilowatt hour the Fisker Ocean got?
None, because they don't exist anymore.
That's
Well, they exist.
Actually,
the
a lot of
company
people at
doesn't
NASA
exist.
actually have them. It's hilarious.
Hey,
Yeah.
Wow.
the
That
Fisker
makes me
owners
worried
are
for
3 or
NASA.
4 that I see driving around on site every day, and I'm like, oof.
I question the decision-making abilities of
Mhm.
those people.
I
I'm really
as
nervous
well
to
too.
hear
And I'm
that.
like, I work with these people. Oof.
To be
All right.
fair, it's actually that's very topical. New service locations are now equipped. I guess there's many more service locations now equipped with Fisker's diagnostic tool. So
But can you update the software with it?
probably not. But at this
Okay.
point, I think people who own this car either are just going to use it as is, or if they want to get creative, they can hack into it and put in their own custom UI or whatever. Anyways, Drew, you're about to rip Nick a whole new charge port.
Hey, Tesla, open my charge port.
You know, you can say something else that'll open the charge port.
That'll get us demonetized.
So the answer is 3.
Dollars? Yes, I agree.
That's what it's worth.
The Fisker Ocean gets 3 miles per kilowatt hour.
Wow,
Okay.
that's so many miles. That's so many miles.
Mm-mm. Do you know how many miles per kilowatt hour the Aptera gets?
Via context, ladies and gentlemen, I am guessing more than 3.
10.
More than 3. Final answer.
10 miles per kilowatt hour.
Is that
In the-
when the Nikola pusher vehicle is pushing it down a hill, or is that
No.
no?
I've driven it myself, son.
Yes.
And do you know how many watts of solar are on the Fisker Ocean?
Not many watts of watts. Very few watts.
Less than 300.
Oh my, that's really actually nothing. Holy sh! Wow.
Exactly. It's an incredibly small, insignificant panel. Do you know how many watts is on the Aptera?
I was hoping at least a kilowatt.
Doesn't need a kilowatt. It's
doesn't.
700 watts.
I rest my case, ladies and gentlemen. This man cannot be reasoned with.
You're talking 3 times the efficiency per mile and over double the solar cells.
Well, there goes that astronaut in the ocean.
It's actually
Houston,
really
we
funny
have a
'cause this is Nick Hage, Crew 9 commander, when he was at the NBL. So he was about to get in the ocean there. Not the ocean, big swimming pool. Continue.
Very topical.
So with a Fisker Ocean, you'd be lucky to get 4 to 6 miles of range from solar in a day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With the Aptera, you can get 40 miles.
Mm-hmm.
When you're flying and you're on your trip Your
Mhm.
Aptera would just be out there charging. When you're out in the field, in the parking lot, it's always
No, I park it in a
always
parking
be
garage.
charging.
I park it in a parking garage, and there's a plug in the parking garage. I just plug it in. But
Well,
continue.
guess what? With the Aptera and that little
Mhm.
plug, it's going to charge twice as fast as your Model 3 and have
Ooh.
more range.
Ooh.
I thought
I'm
you liked that.
gonna quote my my favorite wallpaper maker and say, judge a product that you can buy today, not by what the promise is that it can be tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm not saying you got to pay for the whole thing right now. I'm just
Oh,
saying
just
when it's out,
okay. So
you
where do I
gotta
give
you,
where do I give my credit card number? Because my
well,
credit
you
card
can put
number
a deposit.
is
Unlike Tesla, they'll give you your money back. I promise.
I'll just read you my card number. It's 73249632.
Whoa, he specced it up.
Are you writing this down, Drew?
Yeah,
Okay, good. Because you're the Fisker guy.
He likes all-wheel drive, all panels, 1,000 miles. Probably
I
likes
mean, I do
silver
think that
because he
1,000
likes
miles
the
is quite
Cybertruck.
interesting.
He does.
In all
like
seriousness,
people
I was
too.
kind of just playing around there. I do think it's an interesting vehicle. I would probably consider that as an addition to a garage of other cars, but I don't think I would want that as my only car. The
Hard
Model
agree.
3 is a little tight on space on occasion for me. I travel around with Pelican cases and big bulky backpacks and a
Oh,
bunch of
cargo
tripods.
space. Aptera has a
Not
bigger
just
trunk.
not just cargo space, but like, functionality, throw a couple people in the back. I give tours around work all the time to friends and family and stuff, so have people hop in the back. Um, I would
Fair.
say it's a good second car. It's probably a good commuter. Probably a good road tripper, but like I could see maybe a Pelican case or two fitting in there.
It's 32 and a half cubic feet of cargo space.
Okay. And
You'd
what does
even
that
have to look it
compare
up.
to with the sub trunk of my Model 3?
Model 3 is 25 cubic feet.
So do they have like a black hole inside of there, or how do they do that?
They have a bunk. It's the proportions. It's not a small vehicle. A lot of people think it's
It's
small
just
just because
very
it has
sloped.
three wheel. It's very slippery. It has the lowest coefficient of drag of really any vehicle ever made. And look, they fit a whole ladder back there.
I mean,
Okay.
it's not a big ladder, but it is a ladder.
Well, I'm saying more storage space than your current vehicle. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying. I'm throwing that out there. And you can reach everything in the trunk from the driver's seat, unlike a Model
That's
3.
nice. That is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes 1,000 miles without charging. While charging, actually.
I'll
at the
believe it
store.
when I see it, and I will say I would definitely consider it, and I will probably be looking for a vehicle around the time that they're shipping those. So,
Yes.
I would
Okay.
consider it. But it
Gotta
will have to
believe her.
contend with the R2, which is a really clean car. Yeah, look at that.
Indeed.
Look at that. Look at that.
If you like stopping more on road trips, sure.
Oof.
Yeah.
Hey, but
Well, so there's a point though where like I'd rather just fly, and I fly enough, and I'm used to flying enough where I just would fly. Like,
I want to fly down the freeway.
yeah, okay, but after a while of flying down the freeway, it's like I'd rather just fly over the freeway. And
Do you know the
take a
Greek
nap.
term for wingless flight?
Yes, actually, I do. Boeing.
that's the sound you make
Oh.
when you skip off the pavement after you're flying down the highway.
The sound the plane makes when it hits the ground.
Boing.
It's Aptera, just to be clear.
It's Aptera.
So,
Okay.
wingless flight. The R3 is amazing, though. You'll have no
Yeah. Okay.
fight from me on
R3S.
that.
I would get an R3S, but I don't think it's gonna be ready. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm gonna be looking for another car within 2 years. Like, my
How
big thing
come?
right now is Hardware 3 is able to run the latest software. One of my buddies has a 2021, almost the same spec, dual motor. He has the performance upgrade, the software locked upgrade, but otherwise same spec,
me too.
different color, different interior. But he has 2021, so he didn't get the new visualizer. He doesn't get the visual auto park stuff, like the
Can you
whatever
believe
stuff.
that, Mike? He didn't get the new visual.
I'm
So,
so
like,
happy for him.
What? Does Mike not like the new visualizer?
I hate it so much. Every time we stopped to charge on the road trip to Randy, it was
He
just
gave me
like,
a hard time.
no.
Well, you can take it away by just swiping and
Drew
turning
went
off
lefty.
the autopilot setting. Yeah, okay. Well, you could turn it off very easily if you own the car and you don't like it. But I know for a fact, fairly soon, my car is going to start feeling like that 2021 Model 3, where it's not going to get the latest software, which is going to bug the heck out of me. It's not going to get the latest, FSD betas, which is going to bug the heck out of me. And it's going to continue to degrade and going to put lots more miles on it. So it's serving its mission, which is drive a lot of miles for really cheap. So far, I just pay for supercharging, and I do need to buy tires probably this month. So that's the biggest expense I've had with this car. Besides insurance, I guess I should say insurance has not been cheaper. I really miss my old car's insurance premiums. I was paying less than $100 a month for my old car's insurance premiums with USAA. And when I got the Model 3, I got a quote with USAA and a couple other places, and USA was the cheapest, which still was not cheap in my opinion. It was pushing $2,000 for 6 months of coverage, which is absolutely insane. I know. So anyway,
That's not okay.
I know it wasn't.
That's a no deal.
So they went to renew it a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to renew that. And so I shopped around a little bit more, and Tesla was like, oh, Tesla insurance is available and whatnot. So they quoted me like 180 or something a month, and I'm like, okay, I'll try that.
Why is yours so high? I don't get it.
Part of it's Houston. I know Houston is known to have higher insurance premiums, just the local area. There's 1,000 factors that go into it. I was really hoping that now that I'm over 25, maybe it would be cheaper, but no.
Do you have a driver score?
I do now have a safety score, and I will say I do not like how they calculate it, and I feel like it's very unfair.
Because of the hours?
It's frustrating enough that I have considered I will consider switching back to USAA or Progressive if it continues this way. So they quoted me 180 when I signed up, and right now my safety score is a 92. They keep dinging me for hard braking, which let me tell you what hard braking is. I only hard brake when FSD is about to run a red light. And it does this repeatedly at this one intersection I live close to. Intersection's at this weird angle, and it doesn't realize that the red light is its red light. And so we'll be going literally 45 miles an hour. And it's like, I'm waiting for it. It's like, okay, buddy, you're running out of room. Okay, we're done. And I'm just like, and it disengages.
Your insurance
and
premium has just doubled for hard braking.
Exactly. And I'm like, thank you. I don't feel like that's my fault. I feel like I'm a good driver. The car would have just continued driving through the red light in the cross traffic, but I got dinged for hard braking. Aggressive turning, I don't know what defines aggressive turning, but evidently I turn aggressively a lot. I don't think I do, but I've been trying to watch it, but my little graph is still high. And then I did get one forced autopilot disengagement like a week ago, so that is definitely my fault, and I own that one. Don't look at your phones, kids. Not a good idea.
Nope.
So that is the negative factors on my FSD score, and my premium, my future estimated premium is $240, and I'm like, that's not $180. What the hell, Tesla? What the hell? So I'm very confused. What is going on? So anyway, I'm gonna give it a couple months of trying out Tesla, but it's monthly. So as soon as I get fed up with it, I'm gonna bounce and find another provider that isn't. Oh, I got a software update. I'm getting it
again.
I'm getting it. Yo,
Oh,
I'm getting
it.
Live reaction.
getting it. Oh, yo.
Wow.
He has gotten the A.S.S update.
Yo. Oh man, I'm gonna get off this call in a minute and go have it drive me around a parking lot.
Yeah, we'll have to wrap it up.
It's downloading. But
what is funny though, Nick, is that my experience with FSD, the new version of it, or whatever, I got it a couple days ago. It does the opposite. When it's approaching a intersection, it actually starts to slow down, thinking there's other cars about to go through, even though it's got the green. And so it's going from
Really?
like 40 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour, thinking that there's going to be cross traffic coming through when it can already see that there's a light right above that says, green, you are
Oh,
the only
no.
one going through here.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'll also share.
What do you think?
Go
What
ahead.
do you think? Oh, sorry.
No,
Finish your
go.
thought.
No, go.
What were you think? What do you guys think about the October 10th event? I feel like that's something we should talk about before we leave.
That is the thing. I guess that's not something that we've gotten your opinion on either, the Tesla bot. I'm curious to see. It came up on my mind. I'm curious to see what this thing looks like, whether it's anything close to what was leaked by Mr. Isaacson. Yeah.
Walter Isaacson, yes.
Yes, Mr. Isaacson.
My personal friend.
Yes, your personal. What
Oof.
the hell
Why is
was
it
even
yellow?
that?
Why is it yellow?
Because it's the cyber cab.
Oh my gosh.
Ew. So Drew
Taxi
is
cabs are
sharing
yellow.
a very
Tacky
ugly,
cabs? Yes, tacky. Very tacky. Tacky cabs.
very ugly
What?
version of what
If
might
it's on a
be.
if it's on a truck,
robotaxi.
yellow's okay all of a sudden. But
Yes, Compass yellow is amazing on the Rivian. That is gross construction yellow. Anyways,
so you don't hit.
I'm curious about the design is mainly
Yeah.
what I'm looking for or forward to in the event. Anything else we'll see, and it'll be interesting to see if they can catch up to Waymo and or be at the level of Cruise by this time next year or the year after that. Yeah, I think that's mainly what I'm predicting and or expecting. What about you, Drew? I know that you were sharing on all social media the excitement and or interest in the event invite, but you were very much critiquing the image.
The lens isn't centered.
Oh my gosh, Drew.
Drives me nuts. I can't stand looking at it. My hope is that it's an event about how it's manufactured, because I'm at the stage where I just don't believe in the whole robotaxi taking over the world thing. I think similar to Waymo, it will make sense in regions and jurisdictions that allow it for an alternative to taking a bus or a train. It's just another form of public transportation, but I don't see it killing off car ownership, which is why basically I don't think it's as disruptive as Tesla thinks it is. I think similar to the Boring Company, you start out with this vision of we're going to solve all traffic, and you end up with a few miles under Vegas. And it's like, well, it's kind of cool, I guess, but it's not anywhere near what they originally said it was going to be. That's what I think robotaxis are going to be like. It's like, oh yeah, they got it working in a few regions, but it didn't really turn into the whole like the fleet awakens. Every car is now a robotaxi. So I'm holding out hope that they talk about the manufacturing of it so that it could easily gain a steering wheel and pedals and be sold for an ultra low price, 19,500, for example, just a random price.
Oh, it's a random number.
And
yeah.
I love small cars. I love efficiency. So I would love for Tesla to make a really small, really efficient vehicle that also has steer-by-wire, because that was my favorite Cybertruck feature, was the fact that it changed dynamically, the turning sensitivity. I don't need all-wheel steering, but it's a small car. But like, if there was just a way for it to dynamically change in a small footprint, most cars on the road have an average of like 1.5 people. So I'd be totally fine with a really small, compact Tesla that's super aerodynamic. Maybe it gets like 5 or 6 miles per kilowatt hour and is super cheap and cost effective to make. And they can just crank them out in the event that the robotaxis aren't ready. But Elon probably doesn't want to hear that. He's going to be like, no, we won't need to do that because the software will be 10 times greater than a human.
Suddenly he became Emperor Palpatine, and I'm totally down for this.
Who is your
Palpatine? You shall
be
making
EVs are omnipotent power. This is a good sign. I like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
That's cool to me. I had another one someone made, I think with AI.
Yeah, but I think with those. No, go back. I think with that design, like the wheels are like not even on the ground. Like the whole car's on the ground. Like I don't know
Well,
how that
yeah, it's a
drives.
cardboard mock-up.
It's made out of
He's like,
cardboard. Then how's it going to
he's-
survive a crash test?
Agreed.
He's like,
It's all
that would never work.
FUD.
There's no doors.
I knew it.
That's a problem.
Tesla. There was.
Here you
I
go.
didn't even notice the
Here
doors.
it is.
Tesla's all hype.
Here's the real one. All right.
That's not real. It's
No,
not even
look.
close. I have to like
See what I
squint.
like
Okay,
is that the hood and the windshield are seamless.
It looks like a
that is
duckbill.
that looks like an expensive repair job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe the panels would be separated to make it easier to work on, but overall, I'm just a fan of the size. I like weird designs. I'm a fan of weird and
No.
weird but
Weird
functional.
designs.
If it has a reason to look this way, then I'm a fan. Like, look, you just have your door window and the back panel that simplifies manufacturing so much.
Yeah.
19,500, please.
It's not
I'll
happening.
take small yellow cars for 19,500, Alex.
But we're not going to get that because that would Osborne the current vehicle lineup. So instead, what we're going to get is a bunch of talk about GPUs and how they have all the data. They have more data than anybody. And then Tesla Bot's going to walk up some stairs.
Wow, and they rented the
And we're
entire
supposed to
Universal
go.
Studios backlot for this?
Yeah, but they invited like 12 people, so it should be.
Well, okay, that's going to be a big party then.
Why do you
They can all
think they're
fit-
not inviting that many people?
Well, actually, this is why, because this is the moment where Tesla Bot is going to become self-aware and start his murdering spree. All the robotaxis are going to be full of Tesla bots, and they're going to hop
That's going to
out
be so
in
fun.
some dystopian killer cop mode and just shoot everybody. Yep, just like that.
What
like
is
that.
your thoughts? So that's what you think of in terms of the Tesla bots? They are murder bots,
No.
pretty much.
No.
I think they are.
I kid. No, I think it's really impressive technology. At work we have a program called Valkyrie. It's kind of a offshoot of Robonaut, Robonaut 2, which was the first kind of remote controlled humanoid robot that flew on the space station a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Valkyrie is kind
I've
of the lunar version of that, more optimized for walking around in lunar environments. From what I've seen with their team and what Tesla has released publicly, it's like crazy how far ahead from what I would have considered the bleeding edge. Hey, there's Valkyrie. I know exactly where that was taken. That's funny. Hi, Valkyrie.
That looks cool.
Yes, that's Valkyrie. The robot on the left. The robot on the right. The robot on the right is the much more advanced Tesla bot with the face, the extra face DLC.
You've lost some weight since then, Nick.
Oh my god.
No, that's not me.
So do you favor this more sleek design then, or?
Design aside, I think humanoid robots are a misnomer.
What's misnomer mean?
It means
I'm a dropout. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to. It's a.
I got you, Nick. I got you.
No. We're gonna use Apple Intelligence.
Oh.
Define misnomer.
It's right here on the screen.
It's a wrong or inaccurate name or designation. Thank you, Apple Intelligence.
That was so much faster than what Mike just Googled.
Hey, it's still dumb Siri, just with a cool wow. So I think it's incorrect application of technology. So my branch, everything I work at NASA has to do with robots. Like we are we're advanced robots. Like that's us. We do surface mobility stuff. We do large gravity offloading robots. We do precision flight trajectory robots. We build big robots. We know robots. And it's very interesting to kind of live in this world now that is full of some of the most intelligent people I know. I'm sorry you guys are not there. But these are like people with PhDs in robotics and like people who like know their stuff. They're
I
NASA.
could have one. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You literally told me a few seconds ago you're a dropout. So, you know.
Oh.
regardless, it's cool
I have
working around these
84K, so I forgot
these
about that.
people who invented like all the patents for robotic manipulated hands. Like NASA invented that stuff like 20 years ago, and that's the same stuff that Tesla's using. Their NASA government patents that are more open. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is your robot should fit your use case, not the other way around. And so right now, the most efficient use of a robot is going to be specified. So if you want a robot to make a cheeseburger, you build a machine that makes cheeseburgers autonomously.
Hmm.
It's robotic,
I
and
like
it
that
has
idea.
trays and griddles and stuff that flips and a little conveyor belt. Like it makes a cheeseburger, and it doesn't make pizza, but it makes a cheeseburger. What are we talking to Chat GPT right now? Like, how are you finding these images so quickly? Um,
No, there's a
the
documentary I watched about it. Chili's has a machine that's specifically to make
Yeah,
burgers.
sure, a burger, whatever. So if you want a robot to discover Mars, you send Perseverance. It's a specific robot that is going to fill a specific task. You can't ask Perseverance to make you a cheeseburger, right? They're two very different applications. One is designed to fly very far away from Earth, and the other is designed to make burgers cheaply. Um, and so Tesla and any other humanoid robotic program right now is trying to make automation more friendly. I think because I think the future is not a standard brick and mortars McDonald's full of Tesla bots. I think the future is either one large robotic machine or multiple robotic machines run by one human that are making cheeseburgers at McDonald's.
Mhm.
And I don't think enough people realize that. Like
I
right
agree.
now, my car is a robot, right? It drives itself, it's aware of its surroundings, it's a robot. But I have a self-driving car not because I own a 2008 Ford Escape and there's a Tesla bot sitting in the driver's seat driving. The vehicle itself is the robot, right?
Hmm.
You don't build all these big factories, you know, don't have they use the robots in cases where it makes sense, right? So anyway, I might be
Hmm.
spiraling right now, but I think the point stands where the humanoid robot, while a cool form factor and something that might make people think in the home is friendly, and it might be that futuristic vision that we've all wanted, like Jetson style. I think if you want something to make you breakfast in the morning, you will probably just end up having your robotic car drive you to the robotic McDonald's on your way to your robotic work, and you can pick up your robotically prepared eggs. Like I don't see that as a future necessarily, and it's difficult to say that because there's a lot of hype around these humanoid robots. Like, oh, it would be really cool if you could just teach a robot to
Can you
just pick up
go back to the
tools.
egg one, Mike?
Okay.
What I really like about this photo is that giant canvas of the Tesla semi.
This,
I
it's
would
going
love to have
uphill,
that.
Nicola. It's going uphill.
Hey, they're
I'm
doing
far
great
more
right now.
I'm like, you can buy those? Can I just get a giant canvas? No, but I
Yeah, just
totally agree with you, Nick, by the way.
oh, good. I'm glad we can
Like
agree on at least one thing.
Specialization.
to one thing to play devil's advocate though, I think, and you probably can see this from their perspective as well. The whole reason that they're investing all this time in the humanoid robotics is because they believe the generative AI software has reached a point to where they believe in the not too distant future you'll be able to convey a task
Deep
or
meaning.
teach
Yeah.
a
Hmm.
humanoid robot the same way you teach a human, so that it's like a versatile infinite adapter that no matter what the manual labor job is, whether it's
Hmm.
making fences, picking fruit, making food, or digging ditches, all the number of things that we're using humans for labor for now, suddenly a robot could now do just with some
Hmm.
quick instructions. I have doubts in the software. Personally, I'm like, I
Yeah.
think the
Have you used
teaching
Chat
of
GPT?
right. I think it's a infinite, it's like a haystack of edge cases. of like,
Yeah.
oh, but it won't be ready for this, and it won't have enough training data for that, and this and the other thing. But I think that's where their headspace is. They believe that the software is not too far away from getting to the point where it can learn just as fast, if not faster, than a human. But that, I think, is a false dichotomy from assuming that AI progression is going to be exponential instead of a S curve.
I would also say I don't think that them pushing for humanoid robots is a bad thing, like in general for humanity, because I think it's pushing forward a lot of subsystems, pushing out a lot of design, and how do you make powerful actuators that are both power efficient and space efficient, right? And they're solving these problems in this humanoid form, but those actuators could be very easily used on 737's flap, or a spacecraft's rocket actuator or whatever,
Or a
like
snake charger.
or a snake charger, exactly. Or you could just have a Tesla bot at every Tesla charging station and have them awkwardly walk to every car and plug and unplug it, and then miss it by a couple millimeters and just completely destroy the back end of your car.
Or your charging door.
Exactly. Or force your charging
those are
door down
smart.
after charging your car to
Gonna
100%.
say, have you seen Waymos get? Have you seen how Waymos get vandalized?
Oh no!
People just like stand in front of them and then start spray painting them. It happens all the time. Now imagine a two-legged robot. How the heck people are gonna abuse that thing when it's around?
Oh no!
So they'll have to
and then
teach
when
it to defend itself.
And then when they do become sentient, we're all screwed.
The poor Waymo. Oh, it only
I
generates.
do love
there it is.
watching video clips of like the parking lot full of Waymos like honking at each other. Oh, that is sad.
That's pretty bad. This is a pretty
I
bad
couldn't believe
situation.
what. Why are the
honking is
Waymos designed to honk at all?
Right?
Why were they taught that's acceptable behavior, especially in a parking lot? It's like, oh, something's in my way. Just honk repeatedly until it's not in my way.
Combine that with a parking lot full of 80 Waymos and no one's getting any sleep.
The robo-taxis are just going to play the fart sound everywhere. They're just anytime something's in their way, it'll be a parking
there it is.
lot.
Yes, that's the video I was talking about.
You'll just be in the middle of the night and you're hearing.
That's not a fart.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not a fart. All
Mm.
right, I'm going to install
I think
Actually Smart Summon right now. It will take
Okay.
40 minutes.
I think you explained that pretty well. Do you disagree with us, Mike, in some way, or do you think it's a lost cause, the humanoid robot thing? Or
Unfortunately, I think I'm in the middle where
Mm.
I definitely agree.
Far centrist.
Far centrist. No,
Far
I do.
center.
Like you, Nick, I believe that if you've got a specific task, build a robot for that specific task. And if there's some variants that you can cover as well with that design, go ahead and do it. As long as it doesn't increase the cost for production or materials or complexify the robot too much to where it doesn't make sense to give it that job because it's just going to do bad at that and the secondary job. So designing for intent is definitely something that robots need to have. And for a humanoid robot, there is that idea that it could do something like a human, but I don't know. Drew and I had this exact same, I think, conversation a couple of episodes back, either on the tech, I think it was on the tech, and it's the things that the Tesla has been able to do so far has been neat, but I'm still waiting for that wow factor for me to realize, okay, this is definitely something that almost like the wow factor that you impressed on me and Drew in the tech podcast this week was very much those glasses aren't something that you can easily excuse. That the Meta Ray-Ban Wayfarers or wherever they are do have some great applications, even though that they've got an abysmal battery life. And the same with the robot is that it may also have an abysmal battery life, but if it's able to help your grandma who doesn't want to leave the home and live in a care home, at least having some accessory there that can assist her for some hours of the day is nice to have.
Mm-hmm.
So again, yeah, there's a lot of agreement that I have with you. Like, yeah, Tesla pushing forward the ideas and efforts and money towards this project is likely a good that we should not dismiss. But should they defer their focus that much to where they're losing sight of the dominance that they could achieve with their vehicles, either by privately owned or publicly owned options? Most likely not. So I think this is something that should be spun off like Neuralink and become its own, pretty much its own industry that doesn't need to be under the Tesla brand. But you could easily not purge, but
Separate it out.
Yeah, you could easily take a lot of those engineers and put them in that company or on that project. So that way they're not having to, I guess, support many things. They can laser focus on this and dial in a whole bunch of it and then collaborate with the Tesla team as well.
I'd push them all to XAI. I'd say I'd even move the FSD team out. I'd say let Tesla license full self-driving from XAI. They already said they're going to let FSD be open to other automakers. So just let Tesla be the biggest customer, the first dibs customer, and then Tesla can focus on the batteries and the car stuff, and then XAI can focus on robotics and self-driving. That's what, I don't know. Maybe he won't get as big a market cap that way. I'm not sure what the rationale is, but
yeah.
What do I know?
Something
Insane.
about a truck that you don't want to spill the secrets on, but that's okay.
Oh, I thought you were worried about it. Oh, well.
Oh, no, different truck.
This is something I'm not worried about.
Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute.
Hello to the Tello.
Hello there. Jinx.
Jeez. Anyways, any final thoughts for y'all? Besides pushing each other like
I sure hope that this is in the same orientation as it appears on my screen.
Yeah, it is. It'll look just like that. My name is what? My name is
what?
Mike.
What?
What are you doing down there? Nick, do you see this?
Crazy guy.
Yeah, that actually works pretty well. Yeah. All right.
Welcome to the Brady Bunch.
Congrats on your purchase, Nick. I'm super jealous.
Thank you.
And
we need another update real soon from you. It was way too long since we've had you on here.
Okay, I'll let you know when I buy my next TV.
All right, so another 20
okay,
years.
guys, I bought a Lucid Air for $19,500.
Imagine
at this rate.
I think Drew would drive over to you and strangle you at that point.
We're not far off. They're gonna get that cheap here pretty soon. Thanks for watching all. Bye-bye.